Alright, so let's go ahead and fire up the server. So first activate your virtual environment, and then run python manage.py, run server. And let's head to the browser. Go ahead and log in. Okay, so here is our basic messaging system. So let's go ahead and add a basic form allowing users to add their own posts. And this process is simple and one that I hope you've picked up by now. So first we're going to add a form. Second, we're going to add or update our views, and then we're going to add or update our templates. And so let's go ahead and start with a form. And this is going in the home blueprint. And I guess ideally we would probably want to create a separate blueprint for this messaging functionality. But since this is only a small portion of our overall app, it's fine to leave it under the home blueprint. So let's go ahead and create a forms.py file. And then let's go ahead and jump to the model to see what fields we need to add. So it looks like we just need to add title and description. And let's go ahead and grab the basic code here from our form from the user's blueprint. Copy that, and we'll paste it in here. So let's just call this message form. So we need a title, and that's going to be a text field. And it's called title. That's fine for the validator. And then let's call this one description. This is going to be a text field as well. And let's go ahead and add a length onto that. And we'll put the max of 140. Okay, so we can get rid of this. And we can get our password field, and we don't need email and equal to. Okay, so there's nothing really new here. You may actually want to note that we could use a text area field from WT Forms instead of this text field. And the text area field is just used for multi-line inputs. Now, since I want to keep it under 140 characters, there's no real need to have a multi-line input though. Okay, so next we want to update our views. We want to update the home view function. I'm going to go ahead and grab the code from the repository. So discoverflask.com, project, then home, views. Okay, so let me just grab this code here. We'll copy and paste it. Okay. Okay, so for the post request, we first check to make sure the form validators validate. And then we grab the form data and we add it to the database. And then on a GET request, we still display all the posts. So I'm going to actually comment this out. We'll explain that in just a second. And so let's see, we want to make sure we actually update the imports. So we need, looks like redirect URL4, flash, and then we need to import the form. So it's flash URL4 redirect the form. So from forms import, and it's the message form. And we also need request. Okay, so finally we need to add some template code. So let's go ahead and grab that from the repository as well. So go back to home here, templates, index.html. Let me just grab everything here. So the part we're actually interested in is this post form section. And honestly, you've seen this all before, so I'm not going to go over this. So let's go ahead and test this out. Server's still running. Let's refresh this. So we can see the form here. Let's do test and testing. Go ahead and post that. And I know it's a little bit hard to see here, but the author field is not appearing. So if we go back to the model, we can see that there is a relationship between an author or user and his or her posts. And this is a one-to-many relationship, so one author can have many posts. So the model is set up correct. So that means either we are not adding the author to the database when we create a new post, or we are not grabbing the author field when we grab all of the posts to append to the DOM, or both. So actually, let's start by looking at the database and see what's happening there. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the server. Let's open up pSQL. Let's connect to Discover Flask. And then let's take a look at the post. So select all from the post table. So you can see that there is an author ID, which is filled out for most of the posts here, except the most recent one. So let's go ahead and update our views to ensure that the author ID is being added. And you'll soon see that this will kill two birds with one stone. So let me head back to the views here. Let me actually uncomment this here. And so we can get the current ID from the current user proxy from Flask login. That's the Flask login extension. And let me go ahead and import that. So current user, save that. Now we need to update our models. So we need to add author ID, self.author ID equals author ID. So now we can pass in an author ID. Also, this under init, I'm not sure if I explained it, this under init is a special method that is called when you instantiate a model. And it's there to do any setup you might want to do to the model, which in our case is to set default values for certain fields. All right, so let's go ahead and test this again. So let me exit out of this. And let's go ahead and test again. So test again, testing again. Let's go ahead and post that. And let's see what happened there. Cool, it works. So how did that happen? So how is the name populating? Well, if we go back and look at the templates, you can see down here that we have post, author, and name. And then if we open up models, you can see that there's a back reference here called author. And so we can say author and then any of these fields. So let's try changing this to email. So if we go back here, refresh, you can see that the email shows up there. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's go back and change that to name. I'll go ahead and save your changes, commit, and then push up to GitHub. And so next time we're going to add in unit tests to cover the messaging.